Salute. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Salute to the people of the struggle. How's everybody doing? First of all, I see one like already. I don't see any comments. Peace, 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 peace. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Cause I'm in the whip and I have to make use of being plugged in. Peace, son. Peace, Nubian. Can y'all hear me? Peace, LG. Salute, salute, salute. Salute, salute. And very soon, thank you. Very soon I have to give everybody these wrenches so we can get down to business on you know, making sure that we are uh, providers of this content and that we let people know that this is our space and that we run this space, we control this space to that degree. So yes, peace and salute to everybody in the chat. Several things, of course, you know, this is the book of the day, and as I was watching the playback from last night's live, I noticed people asking me to give a book once a week, not knowing that we do this every day. So I'm glad that she was corrected in the chat, and maybe she doesn't subscribe to, you know, this channel here, right? She only subscribes to Doggy and listens to Outspoken via that vehicle there. So, you know, again, we don't take nothing away from anybody, right? But, you know, we know what we do every day. Two, y'all do know that my comrade is traveling, so I'm going to make an attempt to uh, make sure that he's not missed, and any new content or anything that we need to speak on, we could do it right here. So again, we're not gonna miss a beat, you know. And I should have got one of those contraptions to hold a camera, but I can't stand things like that in the vehicle. Um, so today we are going to give a title that when I first read it, it intrigued me. You know, I love biographies. I love autobiographies. I love the jewels that we get from reading stories from or about people who have survived a particular struggle and how we can use their lessons to enhance the quality of our lives. So I love biographies. I'm going to always give a biography. And it may seem at first that it isn't higher level consciousness, but when you read it and you digest it and you start ripping it apart, you see how it expands. Everything that I'm going to give you um, expands my consciousness 1000%, because I walk in those shoes. I make an attempt to walk in those shoes. And for this particular book, I have walked in these shoes. All right, so today's, ooh, damn, I'm always dropping something. Yesterday, I was in here, I dropped my box cutter. I hate when I be wearing these sweats. Pockets are real loose. Today's title is Bump It Up, All God's Children by Fox Butterfield. Anybody ever read it? Anybody ever heard of it? I read this book initially the first time, of course, when I was on that special vacation up top. Not familiar with this one at all? Really, son? Wow. This is going to blow your mind because you know who it's about. You heard the title before. You know who it's about, right? I just gave you the title. This is new. Wow. Yo, y'all got to cop this. This is All God's Children. Now look at the subtitle, The Basket Family and the American Tradition of Violence. Now when I say the name, Willie Basket, have any of y'all ever heard of who Willie Basket is? Or, yeah, who Willie Basket is? Especially if you're from New York, state and city. Yeah, some people say, of course, of course, of course. And again, a lot of people didn't know that, well, a lot of people should know that Willie is actually a real live person, still alive, still in the Department of Corrections, the New York State Department of Corrections, and how he made history. They messing with your page. I think I can't turn on notifications. Really? Okay, we'll work on that. Um, wow. So I'm glad I'm hipping y'all to something new. I'm glad that this is a title that's new for most of you. That's what's up. Y'all gonna love this joint. And this can be a quick read for people who read like that. Um, Even though it's 300 and about 330 something pages, but the shit gonna blow your mind because it gives a chronological account of the violence, right, of this particular family. And they go back, I believe, 6 generations of the Basket name, and even how the name spelling transitioned throughout the years, and how the enslavement of this particular family, right? We always speak about the DNA. We always talk about the PTSD. Still there? I'm telling you, man, this shit here. Y'all still here? I'm telling you, the robocalls coming. I think that's purposely done. I really do. I really do. I think that they are purposely done because that makes no sense. But now I know exactly what to do. I just gotta wait a minute or so to get back on. That's what's up. I'm glad y'all still. I'm glad y'all still here. You dig? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I do. I do. But it's tight because I have clients for anger management and people be in crisis. And when you get triggered and that anger go off, you have to speak to somebody. If I'm part of their anger management plan, they have to speak to me immediately because dudes go off. So it's hard to put on do not disturb or airplane mode, and I'm right in the town. It's difficult, man. Um, but yeah, but they go back about 6 generations, right? Y'all correct in the chat, and what was I talking about how it's in the DNA and the trauma bonding and really the response of this particular family to their situations um, make it seem as though it's hereditary. So there is a little racial connotation to the book, and they speak on racism heavy, especially by the Basket family, the original name, because it goes that far back. And yo, off the meter, the entire family, from the great great grandpops all the way down to Willie. And I want y'all to read it, and you will see. And if you don't, know who Willie is or the legend of Willie, Willie was the first juvenile tried as an adult in New York State because of his crimes and how busy he was getting and the violent nature of his crimes. So he set precedent and legal statute to how juveniles were charged and tried in the New York State system. So that's who Willie is. And Willie to this day is still in Woodburn Correctional Facility. He's still in the box, still in solitary, still in isolation. He's been there since the 80s, and that's not going to change. He's in there forever. He's in the forever box until he makes it home, if he makes it home, right? Because he was sentenced as an adult and caught subsequent charges in there. So I'm not going to give up how many charges and who the charges were against. Um, I will tell you one spot because I was there. Um, Willie stabbed a pregnant CO um, on the visiting floor while he was getting interviewed, and um, that put New York State prison system in a tailspin. And ever since then, that particular spot, Oneida, you don't want to be in Oneida at all. Oneida was a mess. That's what they call the governor, and whoever's the governor of New York State, the governor's house, the baby of the whole state. And those are some of the most brutal officers, the most racist officers in the state of New York, in a medium A facility, which means double fenced. You got some very racist correction officers in places like Auburn, Attica, Clinton, Dannemora, of course. But for medium, Oneida's off the hook. They beating dudes' ass all through there, and I knew I wasn't gonna survive in there, not with my radical shit. So I had to get up out of there. That was immediate. I was like, nah, I can't. No, I don't even know why I'm here. Well, eventually I find out why I was transferred through there. Again, like I mentioned before, I kept refusing anger management, and when you refuse certain programs that they deem required for you to take for your rehabilitation, right? Check the language out. You get shipped out. You lose points. Your classification starts to drop, and I left the maximum security facilities and ended up in the mediums. And those are not pleasant for people who have a particular energy about themselves. Like, you'd rather be in a max, your own cell, your own space, and where rules are rules. You go into the mediums with the dormitory environments. Them shits is like living in a homeless shelter. You know, grown men that don't know how to conduct themselves, or as Doggy said, custies, and little young wild adolescents all mixed up. Mediums are the worst. But Willie, salute, Mark. Willie's story is significant, and this again, they go into the legalities, the statutes, and the laws around slavery and ownership, and uh, you know, he's going through the generations of how the system uh, is flourishing and how it has flourished and how it grew over the years. Again, we talking about back from slavery, right, to Jim Crow, through the civil rights movement, to the Black Power movement, to all of the various hurdles they put in our way, from the heroin era to the crack cocaine era. He just caught the crack cocaine era in the beginning stages. But his father was off the meter. And ironically, his father caught two bodies in Milwaukee. So this would be a good time for y'all to read it because, as you know, Milwaukee just took that NBA title, and I'm able to appreciate the state of Wisconsin's demographic area and how they are racially segregated, but yet his father, you know, ended up with several white women and marrying them, and he was very abusive. The book is a magnificent read. Um, for some of our sisters who enjoy the color purple and all those other titles, man, from Alice Walker or what you call it? Oh, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison is written in that context. You know what I'm saying? It's great storytelling. It's a smooth read, but I'm telling you, to read about this particular family and how Willie ended up where he ended up, it's gonna blow your mind. Oh yeah, it's so many good books. It's a wealth of information. Like again, I always think about our purpose and how our people are moving. And of course, I'm watching conventional news media and how they are talking about the fix and making sure everybody get the fix, and people becoming ill and things of that nature. And it does, all that bullshit. There's no clarity in it. And then when you see our people that's wasting time on the street, like, we have so much work to do. We have so many different layers of our oppressive conditions. We are so far down in the gutter that we don't have time to bullshit. So when you are reading, it broadens your scope. And then when you apply what you read to everyday life, that's the point where you become not only aware, but conscious and woke and active. All that other bullshit ain't about anything. It's just not. So, if you're going to live here and understand what you're up against, you can only be re energized by reading, by understanding other people's role in this struggle. Some conscious, some not. Some all responsive, right? And some, weak to it. But again, we don't have time to waste. Yeah, they not relaxing. You absolutely right. They not relaxing. They not relax, and they will never relax. Understand that. And yeah, you see, I did shave, so yeah. Theirs is no unity without you and I. Oh, there is no unity. Listen, unity right now is so far fetched, I don't even concentrate on that. Not at all. Not at all. My thing is to, again, capture the minds, capture like minded individuals. When you capture, right, the minds, the war becomes that much more easier. There is not one liberating movement, not one revolutionary movement that has won, that didn't first initially capture the mind of the people. You're not going to get all of them, but if you get enough of them who are active to move or to sit at the same time, right? At the same time, the war is won. The war is won. It's just that simple. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. People got to understand that. It's not hard at all when you got the people minds conditioned and thinking about one thing: to be free, to be liberated, to own your labor. You won the war, but they have to be consistently militant. Consistently militant. Now, the physical aspects of the war is going to take courageous men and women to employ that work that is just audacious, right? Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Other people don't think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. What is just happening now is that there's so many people dying senselessly and unnecessary, that it looks ugly. It feels ugly because there's no purpose. But if you ever think that we will be united or liberated without bloodshed, you're mistaken. Now you are in the realm of romanticism. That's what romanticism is. Thinking you can march your way to freedom, thinking you can vote your way to freedom, thinking that you can legislate and pass laws. It doesn't work like that. Much pain, much suffering, much casualties. But those casualties, that suffering, is rewarded during the course of that. That's what being in the army, that's what being in the military, that's what being a Marine is about. You see the pain and suffering that you cause, but you get rewarded. That's why you think they give them medals. That's what happens. You get medals, you get rewarded for that. Because they know what type of energy you put out. They know what that's about. That's going to have to happen with us as well. It has to happen. But see, what's going on now is people are in a space where anytime they hear about death, anytime they hear about guns, anytime they hear about pain and suffering, it's for nothing. It's for naught. For bullshit. So now the people reject that idea. Yes, listen, South Africa's going through it, right? Cuba's going through it. Haiti's going through it. What's the common denominator in all that? Peace and salute. Well, what's the common denominator in all that? What is the fabric? Yeah, but now King Ace is not even for the blocks. It ain't for the blocks. I'm in New York. You know, blocks getting money. It's not. That's a whole different way to hustle. This ain't blocks getting money. These people are doing this bullshit because of disrespect on social media. Right? This is what we talking about here. And this has been, again, when I was in the anti-gang violence work in 2010, these kids was killing each other over dumb shit. dumb shit. He said something to the chick I know. He said something to my baby moms. My baby moms gave him time. Yo, he called me this. The stupidness. And they taking each other out, sending each other back into the Milky Way over bullshit. So that's why I take my work so seriously. But what causes that? Because they have a mental imbalance. And the mental imbalance because they do not know their self. When you have lack of knowledge of self, you are amply you will believe anything. So if somebody tells you you're blood, if somebody tells you you're a crip, if somebody tells you you're a folk, if somebody tells you you this and that, if somebody tells you you come from a country that's not worth anything, that your people are nothing, all right. So then when somebody tells you this is what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to be a criminal. This is what criminal life is about, right? Yeah, the chemicals are secondary, right? Because, the mental is where it's at first, before you can take the chemicals. But we know that they're using food, right? We do know that. That's why I said it's a multi-pronged attack. And why? Because they have no more resources. They have no more resources. They have become who they always were. Enemies to nature. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They sending each other straight back to the Milky Way. That's what happens when you blow somebody's mind out. They're not even allowing themselves the space to even, perish with dignity. You understand? When somebody meets their demise without ever knowing their purpose, without ever having knowledge of self, that's the worst. That's why you tear. That's why people cry. That's why there's so much mourning and pain at these funerals, right? They have so much pain at these funerals because it's a loss of life that never realized its potential. So all they can do is cry. That's all they can do is cry because they never had a chance to get knowledge of self and walk upright. So of course, we suffered through the same adversities during our enslavement. When they were pulling babies, y'all just don't understand the atrocities of that enslavement, of that whole chattel slavery era. The shit that they was just doing. Like you were under consistent attack and rape. Anything they wanted to do, they did. If you walk by them and they felt they just spit on you, pah, beat you. Terrified to have kids because any of your babies could be raped at any time or taken away, murdered. They did all type of things. All type of things. And that's the pain that we have. That's when people speak on the elders, the ancestors, that energy, the calling of spirits. This is what people are talking about. This is what people are talking about. Now, whether you choose to be a student of all these different sciences or not, it does not lessen the fact of the truth. That is who we are. That is who we are. The Mandingos were fighting for sport and killing each other the same way these youngins are fighting for sport and killing each other over names. It's the same principles. That's why I said we don't move the needle. Exactly. Breaking universal law and order. Divine order. Divine order. Right? Because that's who we are. We're divine people. So when you act out of order, when you are off balance, because again, as a minister, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him, when you are taught to eat the wrong foods, right? When you are taught to eat the wrong foods, you become a bill power. 85. Simple as that. And at that point, everything goes. But what is the duty? What is the duty of the civilized man? What is the duty of the righteous? To teach the uncivilized, right? To destroy the mental chains on our black brothers and sisters' brain, because it's mental. See what happens when the guards don't do what they're supposed to do? The mental chains. So if the guards ain't doing it, if you don't see that OI doing it, whose responsibility is it? Right? So when the guards don't have ciphers on the street, when the streets are empty, when you don't see guards building in the park, when you don't see guards building at the bodega, when you don't see guards on the street corners, when you don't see guards in the schools, all things happen. All chaos happens. Why? Because there's no divine order. There's no supreme math every day, all day. So if there's no supreme math every day, all day, if there's no BGF, right? Giving people military discipline and being true soldiers, and no BPP, how conscious really is the community? That's just what it is. And are people going to struggle? I'm struggling right now with how to continue to proceed when the resources aren't there, right? Where I don't have, again, time and space to continue to build all day, every day, and in each and every way. Is very, very difficult. It's very difficult. And our enemies know that. That is why it is such a crime when people who, who fake being part of conscious communities, woke folk, scam our people. I got a plan on how we can make it happen. Please, you know how to contact me. You dig? It's such a terrible crime, and those individuals have to be seen. I will never stop until I see the majority of them. Never stop, and believe me, if it's the least thing I'm gonna do is cut them in their face, so they always know that they violated our people. I don't care who it is. All of them. Anybody that y'all propelled to high visibility on social media, that disrespected our people, that shifted gears, that took thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars from our people and didn't give shit in return, and now stunting on our people on these very same social media platforms. I'm telling you, the only thing they could do if we ever end up in the same space is run. I'm telling you, there's not security or nothing that could ever prevent that. Because as much as I talk on this platform, as much as I talk on other vehicles, when I'm in the public, I don't talk. Very sneaky, very stealth. Very stealth. I've been up on people's back without them even knowing who I am, why I'm there. No, but they're going to pay for that. They're going to definitely pay for that. Because that makes it a struggle for me to get whatever resources that we need to grow. You dig what I'm saying? That is why money is needed. That's why the cash apps and things like that is so important and urgent. Because of course, when I give the proper degrees, when I give the proper lessons on military strategy and tactics, we don't need much. I always say that. We don't need shit. Most people can fund a guerrilla army from their regular average paycheck. It don't take much discipline. What's in the mind? What are going to be the goals? What do we have to do? You can do that all day, just like the Vietnamese. You can do that all day. Them dudes used to be living off of one bowl of rice and busting American ass. So you mean to tell me them little dudes could do that and we can't? Come on, man. But it's the mind, it's the conditioning, it's the messaging. It's the messaging. It's again, it's the selfish nature that is created by chasing the bag. Poison, poison, poison. 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 That's where we at with it right now. That's where we at. Selfishness. Selfishness. And fear. Because there's a fear of responsibility. Just like when you are, again, telling your children to leave the home at 18, 19, 20. They scared because they have to be responsible for themselves. It's a natural fear. How am I going to feed myself? How am I going to clothe myself? Once I leave this house, will I ever be allowed to come back? Right, fear of accountability. Black men don't patrol their own communities and their own neighborhoods because they are scared. Because now, that banger, now those young dudes who want to be criminals looking directly at you. And can you stand tall on that? Can you maintain that level of consistency without having to call on any authorities? You have to think. You have to use your own resources. You have to continue to do that. People are scared of that shit. There's a fear in that. I know, I see it. I see them bitch ass niggas. I see it. I see it. You can never, ever get any of them to do what the fuck I do on a regular basis. You couldn't get them to do it when they was at their peak. None of them went through for dolo like I do. Al Sharpton, none of them. None of them. The only one who did are the ones who end up getting their wig split because they were serious. You would see Malcolm in the hood for dolo. You would see Khalid Muhammad in the hood for dolo. Certain type of men are built a certain type of way, and they demand, their energy demands and commands that respect. So there's no fear because they're coming with integrity, they're coming with honesty, and they're coming with love and truth. So you don't walk in fear. But when you rock with Master, when you side with the Euros, the Cory Bookers, the Hakeem Jeffries, all these people with these political titles, these athletes and entertainers who need 10 and 20 dudes around them just to walk, that's bitch made. That's not a woke individual. That's not somebody that's coming from the energy of ancient Kemet. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Camera chases, ambulance chases, all that shit. And when they do come and they do stop by, they talking nothingness. Empty old rhetoric and bullshit to continue the circle, to continue the cycles. They're not there to give anybody nothing. Not at all. Not at all. So again, who are the leaders? What are our responsibilities? That comes down to us. That comes down to us. So when we speaking of that, when we're speaking on these rappers and entertainers, and we calling them out, it's not from a place of hate. Yeah. Muhammad Ali, definitely. It's not from a place of hate. Only ones I hate who are those who prove themselves enemy to the people, where they already stand up firm on what they say and they holding that line. Yeah, then I'm gonna hate you. I hate anybody that doesn't love my people. But I'm not gonna hate you to the degree of I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna do nothing. I hate you, and when I see you, I'm gonna do you something dirty. From all the dirty lessons I learned from being a street warrior, from being a warrior behind the bars, I'm going to do them something dirty. And all my people can trust that. I will never let any of them slide again. I've let them. I hate that, yo. You just don't know. That thing takes your train of thought off everything. Everything. Oh my goodness. But yeah, um, yeah, man, it's the worst. But again, y'all got the gist of it. Um, Again, y'all gotta go get this book. There go Willie on the front. There go Willie. So y'all gotta cop that book. Um, I did this. I'm telling you, I love my work, but it's beginning to be very annoying, and I don't have the energy and the desire to remain in that bullshit. I need. I, yo, if I could get right now 10 consistent, and people would think that I would have that 10 consistent anger management clients at $25 an hour once a week, I would never, that I'd be out of there. Simple as that. And they would have to find me. Then I would have to advertise and have people come directly to me because, excuse me, to give these people what I'm giving them free of charge and digging up, yo, I do all the work for this program. All of it. All of it. Y'all don't understand how I literally have adult men in tears during those group sessions. Literally, I have adult men in tears because they are in a space and they tell me where nobody even gave them a chance and opportunity to speak, to hear them. Nobody. So just have an opportunity to articulate yourself, to have somebody understand you. That shit rocks them. That should bring them to tears, man. And then when I get into the anger management portion, when I get into domestic violence and batterers accountability and speaking to that and the parenting skills and what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a father? And touching on who was a father to them. Going back, yo, man, they are so appreciative of that little 12-week course and little 12 weeks that they get to be around other men and see that they're not the only ones going through those issues. Yo, when I tell you it's rewarding, it's rewarding, but I just can't do it. They paying me pennies. And again, like I said, working for nonprofits, the people who actually do the work, who get the work in, who the either the client base or the participant base loves and really wants to hear from, it goes unacknowledged and shit like that because these people know exactly what they're doing. That's what training is. That's what professional development is. Training, getting into the mind of people so they are less empathetic to those who are in need. Shit is mean, man. They deal with high science with this shit. So I just gotta get, again, I gotta get that right. I have to really press it. Now people need to know, man. Hit that anger management. That shit is so needed when you can't read anything. You cannot be woke or anything if you are not balanced with how you move based on your anger and your responses to it. A lot of people believe that that's all you need, and that's the fuel that's been fueling a lot of people for many years. But shown proven, you could be as angry as you want. They call us angry people anyway. Angry black woman, angry black man. That shit don't mean nothing. It doesn't. Because then you can't think, you can't process, you can't strategize. So again, I need to get that up. That shit got to get pushed. Got to get pushed and pushed to the degree of. So yeah, because I got to get away from these people, man. They're starting to hamper my work and my true work on the ground with my people. Because my people need me more than anybody else. Than anybody else, and that's who I work for. I work for you. I work for you and you. I'm here to educate you because you educate me. It's a fair exchange. We get it back. And then when it's time to get that work in, when it's time to really be X-Men, it makes it all that much beautiful. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Y'all have to know and understand what it feels like to bleed these bastards. Oh my goodness. No better feeling in the world. I'm telling you. No better feeling in the world. But you have to be educated. You got to go through certain stages and steps to get to that and to do it successfully. Beautiful thing. So I got to run because they hitting my phone and got to prepare. This is the first group that I have to do by myself because one of the co-facilitators quit. He went into be something he wanted to be. He wanted to be a KSAT counselor. So he finally passed his KSAT and he went to a different company to do uh, substance abuse therapy and things of that nature. And I got another co-facilitator who's just brand new. So he don't know. So this is my first group to for me to facilitate. The first new group that I'm facilitating on my own over the Zoom platform. Everything else we've been together on, or I've done first groups by myself when we were still in the building, classroom setting, which is easy to manage. You can manage 25, 30 people by yourself dealing with anger management. But over the Zoom, it's a whole bunch of different shit, and I'm using my phone. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I love my people. Get the book. Support. Because we have to build each other up. Um, um, what else? My Cash App. Hit that. You know what it is. $Bliz 155. As you know, Doggy's traveling, so I don't know when we're going to be able to go live together on his format. I think after Sunday or something. But until then, check here. I'm gonna go live here as much as I can. You know I'm always on IG, but I gotta go do this 3 hour group. Unbelievable. Um, for Dolo. I love my people. We will win. No doubt about that. But it's going to take consistent militancy, struggle, right? Focus, and fearlessness. Don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Because I believe in you. If nobody else ever told you that, I believe in you. I love you. So I know exactly where we can be, right? With each other, holding each other down. So again, I'll holler at y'all later. Cause I had to turn the car off and goddamn, it's hot. Shit is humid out here. It's only been about 10 seconds. I'm about to pass the hell out. Whew. And I hate speaking to my neighbors. You just don't know. You just don't know. I hate fake people. You dig? Yes. Peace, peace, peace. Salute, y'all. Salute. And let's get it right, man. Let's get it right. Let's put these crackers on their heels, man. It's time. We got everything we need.